Anambra celebrates its 33rd anniversary, the creation of Anambra State. On the 27th of August 1991, Anambra State currently was created out of the old Anambra State. And today, as we celebrate the 33rd anniversary of its existence, I want to use this opportunity to felicitate within the Anambra all over the world, at home, and as we said, in diaspora. Whether you are living in Anambra, whether you are living in the neighboring states, or whether you are living in faraway Lagos, Abuja, anywhere and all over the world. This is the moment to say happy 33rd anniversary to all of us. Anambra State was created out of an aspiration that resembles almost like the vision and the mission of the current administration, and that is to create a livable and prosperous homeland. 33 years on, it is safe to say that Anambra is truly on the rise. What with Anambra State, certainly one of the top 5, top 6 in terms of the state economies of Nigeria. Out of the 36 states, Anambra ranks among the top 6 largest economies. Anambra State, obviously, in terms of poverty indicators, ranks one of the lowest in Nigeria. About 65%, 70%, some say 70% of Anambra State is largely urbanized, with 4 major cities subsisting, and one of them housing the largest industrial and commercial hub, as they say, the largest market in West Africa. And so Anambra today, where be it in the social sector, economically, sports-wise, and so on and so forth, has been rising as a major leader. You take in the social sector, education, Anambra is certainly rated as one of the best. Students are, representing Nigeria all over the world, winning all the laurels, and certainly always in the top 1, 2, or 3 secondary school performances. Today, due to our free education program in public schools in Anambra, Anambra currently now ranks as #1 state that has 36 states and FCT in terms of having the lowest out-of-school children in Nigeria. And then in terms of quality, of course, that goes in terms of the laurels that we win. Certainly one of the best in the country. Take in terms of tech, recently we won the awards to be #1 in terms of technology and innovation. You think in terms of infrastructure, we're rated #1 in terms of massive infrastructure revolution and rural transformation. Or is it in the area of health? We are second only to Lagos in terms of having the smallest infant mortality rate in the country. And so on and so forth. The list goes on and on. And so the simple message today is that Anambra, the dreams of our forebears, our founding fathers, our heroes past, of creating this land of opportunity, this land of prosperity, a livable homeland. I want to say that everything put together, that Anambra is likely on the rise. The state of our state is very strong, indeed, and all in the Anambra, wherever you may be, despite whatever may be the challenges, as it were, everybody has cause to be proud of our homeland, Anambra State. And so I want to also use this opportunity to, if you like, remember several of our heroes past, those who, those who gave Anambra brand names. Remember the late Right Honorable Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, blessed memory, founding father of Nigeria, the Zik of Africa, Anambra. Remember the team, Chukwuma Soludo, Ikemba, Newi, remember the late Dr. Alexei Kweme. Remember the late Chinua Achebe, Kennedy. Remember the that the Jerome Udoges of this world and Chuba Kadibos, and the list is quite long. Eminent in the Anambra who have contributed not only to the growth and foundation of our dear state, Igbo land, Nigeria, Southeast, and generally, but you have countless other dozens, and hundreds, and thousands of Ndi Anambra, in Anambra, and all over the world who are champions and to be celebrated. I mean, and those who have died, those who are still alive, we remember all of you today. I want also to, may we say, on this occasion of our 33rd anniversary, we use this occasion as well to remember the dead. Those who started the journey 33 years ago, but who are no more, for one reason or the other. May all their souls rest in peace. And we use this opportunity as well to celebrate our future. To celebrate our future. Celebrate our today and our future. Celebrate our children who happen to be our children and our youth who happen to be our bridge to the future. For the wonderful work that they are doing in schools, excelling in Anambra and all over the world. We celebrate our youths. Recently, all over much of Nigeria was enveloped in protests and so on. But our youths did what we are known for. Go to work, find a solution, do something. Our youths decided to do something about the challenges that we face, rather than sitting on the street to complain about them. We celebrate our women who bear quite a large chunk of the burden of womanhood, raising the families, and building our society. Anambra is one state in Nigeria where, in fact, the women dominate the public sector and dominate various aspects of our lives. And we celebrate our women today. Our public service, if it is the schools, the primary school is about 97% dominated by women. Secondary school teachers, about 89% by women. And our public service, our civil service and so on, dominated by over 60% women, as it were. And so they constitute the foundation of our society. And we celebrate our women today. Our men as well work extremely very hard. And who toil day and night, our entrepreneurs, male and female, all over the world. We use this opportunity as well to celebrate all of you. And to all others, the residents, the non-indigenous of Anambra State, who are flooding into Anambra as a land of opportunity. We say, we celebrate you, those who are contributing positively to the economy and social development of Anambra. We do use this opportunity as well to celebrate all of you. And to all the friends of Ndi Anambra, all our partners all over the world, in Nigeria, the federal government, our neighboring states, other states of Nigeria, the international community, the private sector, the investors who are flooding into Anambra here to create as a land of opportunity and also to help to create the prosperity that we desire. This is a moment that we celebrate all of you. And at this moment, I would say Anambra, again, like I said, is on the rise. And the challenges abound and will continue to abound. But our resolve is to continue to work extremely very hard. Every day that we stay at this office, to work every day as we have applied for this job to ensure that we continue to take Anambra higher and higher and higher. By next year, this is the 33rd anniversary, and this administration has already, and this is not the time to begin to give you another, if you like, a scorecard of this administration. But we're certainly bound. I mean, we're on the course to break many jinx in Anambra within the next few weeks and so on this 33rd anniversary, certainly before our 34th anniversary. So Anambra is on the move, and I want to congratulate everyone. We're not celebrating. We're not popping champagne and whiskey and having big parties for celebration. We're still working very hard. As I live here now, going on project inspections and having meetings, dealing with the issues of security and dealing with the issue of our environment. We've just received all manner of warnings. We've been receiving warnings, and we have been preparing to deal with the expected massive flooding. And Anambra, as usual, is expected to be one of those to be most badly affected. We are planning very hard on this. The last time it happened about 2 years ago, 8 local governments were totally swamped with flooding and damaging goods and wealth and assets worth into hundreds of billions of naira and displacing hundreds of thousands of persons. We are getting ready for that as well this year. We have been warned, and so we are preparing. This is going to cost the state a humongous amount of money to do that, but we are gathering and getting ready. The federal government, for example, sent some 24,000 bags of rice, which we're also keeping for this particular major emergency that is expected to happen any moment from now. Distributing it to the wards would have gotten maybe 70 bags a ward. But for these 8 local governments that will be, we expect to be heavily impacted by this, we have reserved this to be part of the intervention mechanism that we're putting together. We're also putting together our own resources, billions and billions being set aside and getting our camps ready. I will be going on inspections of roads and projects and bridges as we get out from here. And so the environment remains an issue. And later this evening, I will be having meetings on security, as it were. These are areas that we're working on all of this on daily basis. Infrastructural transformation on course. Thing on education, we're also getting ready for our children to come back, resume schooling next month, and of course health and other social sectors on course. So this is not a time, like I said, a day to drink and dance, even though we have millions of things to celebrate. But we're off to work as usual. And I want to thank you very much and say to Ndi Anambra, we are the Anambra. And everybody knows and reckons that Ndi Anambra happen to constitute some of the best entrepreneurs that we have in the world. Of any race, of any group, Anambra State, per square kilometer, per square mile, we must embody some of the largest concentration of entrepreneurs of any other place in the world. And we beckon on you that we use this enterprise, which is what we are known for. We'll use it to excel wherever we are. But more importantly, we must deploy our enterprise, our resourcefulness, our intellect, our capacities, God-given capacities, to transform Anambra State to be that one livable and prosperous homeland. Together, let's build that livable and prosperous homeland. Of course we can. We have all that it takes to make it happen. So we're hopeful and praying for many, many more years of Anambra moving from glory to glory, from high to high, in the attainment of our dream, our vision, to create that livable and prosperous, smart mega city as Anambra State. Thank you, and God bless you. You put it right, but the way you were saying it, I think you weren't quite too sure. It's called Anambra Vision 2070. There's a committee, Anambra Vision 2070 committee, which I happen to chair. I chair the Anambra Vision 2070. And we produced a document, which is like an Anambra's 50-year development plan. And so you're absolutely right.
Thank you, sir.
I chair that. The fulcrum of what we are doing, the transformation that we are executing in Anambra, happen to be rooted partly on that Anambra Vision 2070 document, as well as the People's Manifesto. My manifesto, the Soludo Solution, the People's Manifesto that I used to campaign for this office. So these are the two guiding documents on which we are standing, and the pillars that we are putting in place in terms of whether it is in terms of our rural transformation, be it in terms of the infrastructure revolution, or what we are doing with regards to human capital, health and education, and so on and so forth, free healthcare, free antenatal, because this has to be, it's a society that is founded on competition and compassion, so to speak, a livable and prosperous homeland. What we've dealt with in the area of security, like when we came, 8 local governments were no-go areas. They were totally taken over by hoodlums, almost like by way of taking territories. But would have been flushed out of there. Sporadic here and there as well, but we are determined to root them out completely, because security is also at the foundation of this journey. You know, cleaning up the place and, you know, the basic foundation, basic infrastructure, getting your school system to work, getting health facilities to work, and of course, deployment of technology. You know, we are developing the Anambra zone equivalent of the Silicon Valley. Today, the first building is on. Tens of thousands of our youths receiving digital training, because we also want to create Anambra as a digital tribe. These are all part of the vision that we've encapsulated in both the document and the People's Manifesto. So, summary is that we're on course. Anambra is on course, and Anambra is on the rise.
Thank you very much.
First point to make is that Anambra people seem to have come to this conclusion that APGA is a vehicle for the state's transformation. Because since the party started holding sway in Anambra, the place has been calm politically. No longer the era when they were burning down buildings, burning down government, and fracas, impeachment here, there, and almost always perpetually political turmoil. Since APGA came, in terms of the politics, Anambra has been calm. And that has laid the foundation for the unprecedented transformation of the state in the last decade that they have, that APGA has held sway here. And I think there is almost like an unwritten rule in Anambra, and Anambra people have a consensus, a large consensus on this, that when it comes to our local affairs, how we develop Anambra, you will see Anambra people will revert immediately back to APGA as that platform. And under our leadership, APGA is strong, APGA is stronger, and APGA has been, if I like, has never been stronger than it is today. That's the second point to make. But then let me also add something, because I'm sure the question may be coming from because of what you might see on social media and so on and so forth. And, you know, this is it's become usual now that in the run-up to every election, there is always this leadership tussle, so to speak. But in the end, it all comes together again, and APGA comes together again as a family. So currently there is, you know, the talk about, oh, INEC recognizes, and then who is the national chairman. I know I attended the national convention here that INEC monitored and all of that and so on. And so there is a claim about, someone else is claiming that INEC put his name there. And they put that it is by court order. and I'm waiting. I haven't seen that court order myself because APGA had asked them to give us a copy of that court order. But I think the good news is that everything put together, it is kind of little family, if you like, some is that either miscommunication or misunderstanding, which I think will be sorted out in the fullness of time. It's one APGA family, whether it's Dozier or whoever, it's one big family. And I'm hopeful that sooner than later, everybody will come back again into one big tent. I don't see, as far as I'm concerned, I don't see any division in Africa. There isn't, quite frankly. There is none. It's just, like you said, these things, that's usual all the time that Africa has gone. In the run-up to every election, there's always been such. I understand the disputants are in court, and hopefully, I trust that hopefully that will be resolved, as has been resolved all in the past. Once they resolve all of this, I pray, I hope that the two sides doing this, all of them will come together under this one big massive tent, because APGA is a massive tent. It's a movement for the transformation, a movement that delivers value to the people, a movement that in the Anambra have grown to trust as, a vehicle for transformation. So, long and short of it, just be rest assured that APGA has never been stronger than it is today, and APGA will continue to be strong. NDDC is an institution, first and foremost. Anambra has got, to get down to the heart of your question, Anambra has got some deposits of oil and gas. Okay? We are more of a gas state than oil. So we've got huge deposits of oil and gas. And that's bits and bits of it being exploited. Not quite in large, what it is, Orient Petroleum, Orient, here and there has its own challenges. I hope they come back on stream strongly in no distant time once they sort out some of their challenges. But there are some exploitation going on around Uguanyacho axis of Waru. And we want to believe that, and even some gas. We are working very hard on all of those. And, but ultimately, being now officially listed as an oil producing state, and also, if you like, the boundaries with the states, we have boundary with rivers, boundary with the delta, and the areas of the oil producing in Wheatbellow, Guanyocha, happen also to be within those axes of the boundaries with the Niger. Anambra, appropriately, should be a member of the NDDC. Now, but NDDC is a creation of law and lists out members. The states that are there. That's part of what we'll be seeking, to have the amendment to formally admit it as a formal member by law. But we know that nothing actually stops NDDC from extending its reach, to Anambra because of its oil producing status now, even before the law is amended.
Okay.
Conan, if you talked about the ranking, yes, you're probably about right. We should be number 5 or number 6 in terms of the state GDPs, but 5 trillion, that's not 5 trillion. You're talking in terms of the size of our GDP. We're certainly way over 20 trillion. if you're talking in terms of trillions of naira, in terms of GDP. So GDP-wise, we're probably in the range of, in dollar terms, we're probably in the range of 12 to 15 billion dollar economy. Yes, on a per capita basis, Anambra, obviously, is ahead of Nigeria, the average. Okay, in dollar terms and even in naira terms. This is a state of approximately about 8.5 million residents, as it were, and with a GDP, Nigeria's GDP today in dollar terms is now estimated by this year probably end at about 1,200 or thereabout dollars per person. Anambra will suddenly inching closer to 2,000 per person. But see, when we say our mission is to create, have a livable and prosperous homeland. The thing as well is that from the data that we say, we are growing faster than the Nigerian average. And so if you scale it on per capita income, the average for Anambra is higher than the average for Nigeria generally. And if we grow much faster than Anambra, than the rest of the country, the average for the country, there could be one or two places probably growing much faster. I don't have all the data for all the states, all the other 35 states, but certainly we're growing much, much faster than Nigeria. It only stands to reason that Anambra's GDP, if it is 14 or thereabout billion dollars, will continue to grow organically and sporadically, just where Nigeria is doing about 2-3%. We're doing about 4-5% in real terms. And so Anambra, obviously, will be growing much, much faster than Nigeria is. Now, if you want to put it in terms of numbers, you might have to punch the numbers. You see, you don't, this is the bit that you don't go on, it's a risk when you are dealing with an economy in volatility, especially with exchange rate, and you start setting your targets based on what is a moving target in terms of volatile numbers. You begin to say, my GDP is going to be X in next year in dollar terms. Oops. Just the depreciation of the exchange rate alone has brought Nigeria's GDP from 550-something billion to 200-something billion. For now, nothing changed but the exchange rate. So it's not a very, that's why when I told you that this is a short question with a long answer, I know what I am getting to, because it will get us into some deeper, complicated conversation about setting such target. So I will set the target in terms of, 4 years, you're going to put your GDP from here to X. Because whatever your effort in dollar terms, especially if you got to benchmark that in dollar terms, it all depends on what happens to the exchange rate. It will grow fast in Naira, but if the exchange rate can just put you down. We're now we're just about 50% in dollar terms, where we were about 2013, 2014 in dollar terms, simply because of the change in exchange rate. So if tomorrow the exchange rate were to go up to, just for the sake of discussion, the exchange rate were to firm up and say 100 naira to the dollar, boom, Nigeria will be one of the richest countries in the world and in dollar terms. So it's not. So you see what I mean? It's a moving target. Because of the exchange rate, it's difficult for you to begin to put your target, when you put your target in dollar terms, in that perspective, you are likely going to be thoroughly disappointed, because what happens to it, the value in dollar terms is out of your hand.